Right now, we are smack in the middle of an AI gold rush. Billions of dollars are being poured into massive data centers, all built on this near-religious belief that large language models, the tech behind ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, are the one true path to artificial general intelligence. But what if this whole time, the entire industry has been sprinting down an evolutionary dead end? While the world is racing ahead, one of AI's own founding fathers is basically drafting their obituary. Turing laureate Yann LeCun, a guy whose ideas are the foundation for so much of modern AI, has made this incredibly provocative claim. These systems that are all over the headlines today, they're on their way out, and fast. So that forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question, doesn't it? Are the most advanced AIs in the world actually just a transitional phase? Are they just a stepping stone to something way, way more powerful? Let's unpack that. Okay, to really get why these incredible tools might be hitting a wall, we have to look at how they actually work. The problem is pretty fundamental, and it all starts with what you could call the symbol prison. Here's the thing. LLMs don't think, they predict. They are absolute masters of what the psychologist Daniel Kahneman calls System 1 thinking. It's fast, it's automatic, and it's based entirely on pattern matching. They just predict the most statistically probable next word over and over again. They sound fluent, sure, but they're hollow. And this right here perfectly illustrates the core issue. LLMs are trapped in a prison of symbols. Their whole universe is built from text, just scraped abstractions and descriptions of reality, not reality itself. So yeah, they're brilliant with words, but they're completely blind to the world those words are supposed to represent. Now, this blindness leads to a very real, very big problem: hallucinations. And what's wild is that even with billions in investment, the very best models have this stubborn error floor. Their hallucination rate on complex factual questions, it's stuck somewhere between 3 and 10%. And get this isn't a bug that can be fixed. It's a fundamental feature of an architecture that just doesn't have a model of the world. This brings us to something really weird called Moravec's paradox. An LLM can ace the bar exam or summarize a physics textbook, things we find incredibly difficult. But it totally fails at things a toddler masters without even trying, like understanding that an object still exists when you cover it up. And why is that? Because those easy skills require a rich physical understanding of the world that you can never ever get from text alone. So if text isn't the answer, then what is? Well, it turns out the seeds of the next revolution are already being planted, and it's all about building a model of the world. Enter JEPA. This is a whole different ballgame. Instead of just predicting the next word, a joint embedding predictive architecture is designed from the ground up to build an internal, abstract mental map of the world around it. It's not about language, it's about understanding reality. So how does it learn? Well, it starts by learning the basic physics of life, things like object permanence and cause and effect. It builds these compressed, abstract ideas about the world, not just copies of pixels. And this lets it do something an LLM simply can't: predict what will happen next based on a plan. This is System 2 AI, deliberate, goal-directed thinking. Let's put these two side by side, because this is where it really clicks. For their learning source, LLMs use text, just symbols. A JEPA-based system, on the other hand, uses sensory patterns from reality itself. How they process? LLMs are reactive, just going token by token. This next-gen model is predictive, using its abstract understanding. And here's the kicker: error handling. LLMs create those cumulative hallucinations we talked about, but a world model can actually self-correct because its predictions are constrained by the actual rules of its own internal world. Look, if you want to boil this entire massive shift down to a single idea, this is it. An LLM is constantly asking what word most likely comes next. But a JEPA-based system asks a fundamentally different question. If I take this action, what happens next? It's the difference between imitation and real understanding. So what does this future actually look like? Does this mean LLMs are just going to end up in the digital junkyard? Not exactly. It means their role is about to change in a big way, and so is ours. In this new hybrid world, LLMs will become the skin, not the brain. Think about it. They'll be the perfect linguistic interface, our way of talking to these much more powerful, world-grounded AI models that are doing the heavy cognitive lifting in the background, the actual reasoning and planning. And this changes our role dramatically. We get to move up the cognitive stack. We stop being operators, trying to compete with machines on specific tasks, and we become orchestrators. Our jobs will be about judgment, ethics, and setting the strategic direction for these incredibly powerful new tools. And the scale of this shift is just massive. Research suggests that something like 80% of the US workforce could see their tasks impacted by AI. But you know what's fascinating? The tasks least likely to be automated are the ones requiring physical skill and high-stakes social intelligence, the very skills that need a grounded model of the real world. So the big takeaway here is that we're watching AI evolve from just a clever text generator into a genuinely adept cognitive partner. And in this future, we provide the essential human stuff, the judgment, the ethics, the direction. We are finally moving beyond just building better, faster dictionaries. We are right on the cusp of building something completely new, a truly world-grounded intelligence. So no, this isn't the death of AI. It's just the end of the beginning. The era of real understanding has just begun.